There we go, I'm recording again.
This is... Oh, show me who this is. Alright, give me the phone. Okay, so this is Mr... I don't know, but he's a really good YouTuber, and you can check him out. He's really good. This... Don't show this whole thing. He may not like it. Because...
And by the way, I'm his editor.
He's not my editor.
I'm his cameraman.
If he comes up and he tells me, I want you to take this down, I will take it down. It is completely fine. I will take it down as he wants me to. It's okay. I want to see. What did you say? No, I said I'm actually gonna... No, I will take...
I said no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
I know you will.
No, I'm gonna take it down. Well,
I said I know you will. I just said that to fuck around.
No, let's actually watch this.
Scare your ass.
What they were referencing was 2 years earlier, 2 other women's bodies had been discovered in that rough area where Sherry had been found. One of the women was so badly decomposed there was no way to identify her. However, it was revealed she was probably in her late teens or early 20s. The other woman was able to be identified. It was 24-year-old Joanne Messina, who was an exotic dancer from Anchorage. But there was virtually no evidence at either of the 2 women's grave sites, and so their deaths remained a mystery. Publicly, at this press conference, the police told reporters that they did not believe Sherry's death was connected to those 2 other women. But privately, some officers had their suspicions. Not only had these 3 women met similar fates in a similar area, but over the past couple of years, there had been a significant increase in missing people out of Anchorage, Alaska. And most of these missing people were young women that were either exotic dancers or prostitutes. This convinced many officers that they were dealing with a serial killer, but there just wasn't any evidence to actually prove it, so they couldn't use it. But the following year, no new information about Sherry Morrow.
This man just farted in my room. This man just farted in my room.
Hey, that was not too bad.
That was a juicy one right there. This will have to be censored.
It doesn't make sense. There's just feet. A lot of guys like feet. I don't like that. It's kind of weird, man.
That's why he said. That's why he said you have to censor it.
There was this woman running towards him, screaming with her hands over her head, and she wasn't wearing pants or shoes. And so obviously he knew something was wrong. And so he pulled over, and as this woman is charging up towards him, he notices she has a handcuff on one of her wrists, and she appears to be a lot younger than he initially thought. She's probably in her late teens. And so she comes running to his car and locks the passenger side door. She flings herself inside without even asking for permission, and she slams the door behind her and locks down to keep her head out of the door, like she's trying to hide from something out there. Now, this man looked out, and he didn't see anyone or anything, but he wasn't going to wait around for whatever it was she was scared of, so he just made a gut decision to take this girl away from him. So he peeled off and drove down the road, and the girl, who was very shaken up, couldn't even tell this guy what was going on. She just asked him to please drop her off at a nearby hotel. And the man didn't ask any questions. He drove her to the motel and he dropped her off. The girl ran inside and up to her room. And when she ran inside, the motel receptionist sees this girl running in. I mean, she doesn't have her pants on. She's got a handcuff on. She looks terrified. And so she called the police. A few minutes later, the police showed up. They went up to this girl's room. They knocked on the door. The girl opened it up, and she was obviously very scared. And she allowed the police inside. And she told them her name was Cindy Paulson. She was 17 years old. The police recognized this girl is terrified. She's not a threat. And so they removed the one handcuff that was still on her. And then they asked her, what happened? And the police officers would say her story was just horrible. But what stood out to them was not how disturbing the story was. It was how composed and brave this girl was as she told it. This is her story. The night before, Cindy was working the streets of Anchorage. She was a prostitute. And a car pulled up, and inside was this wiry, bearded guy with glasses who seemed kind of slight and harmless, and he asked her for services. Because she didn't view him as a threat, she agreed and hopped in his passenger seat, and as soon as she sat down, he reached over and put a handcuff on one wrist, and then drew a gun on her and told her to be quiet. And he drove her to this fairly nice neighborhood, pulled into a driveway, he got her out of the car and led her into this house, and he brought her along downstairs into the basement, where as soon as she got down there, under the dim light, saw there was a chain swinging from the ceiling. And he strung her up onto that chain, and for hours he assaulted her. And then after he grew tired of doing that, he told her he was going to go take a nap, and when he came back, they were going to leave this house and move off to this cabin in the woods. At this point, she begged him to let her go, but he really didn't care. He just told her that if she made any noise or tried to escape at any point, he would have to kill her. And he walked out of the room. And for the next several hours, Cindy remained chained to the ceiling with half of her clothes off, wondering what horrible thing was going to happen to her next. Eventually, her attacker came back in the room, and he untied her from her chain, and he walked her upstairs to his living room, where he very proudly showed her a number of hunting trophies he had, and he began telling her about how much he loved hunting and where he went hunting. And it was at this point that Cindy realized this guy has no intention of keeping her alive. He's shown her his space, his house, his car. He's told her about places he likes to go and things he likes to do. He's given her all this information about himself. She is a huge liability